I got too many games. I gotta just try them all. This is my first impression backlog of Death March. Here we've got Primordia, which is from Wadjet Games, which is kind of a very well-seasoned adventure game creator. So let's start. I did turn on the commentary, so let's see how badly that gets butchered into this. Okay, oh, okay, yeah. Didn't know if I needed to do anything or no, it's kind of a scripted thing.
Almost there. One more setting. And one more piece of the unique is operational.
Okay. Am I waiting for something here? So that icon is?
One down, 1 million to go. Speaking of which, boss, I found exactly none of the parts you wanted. A whole day at the junk pile, and all I turn up are a locker and some stupid conduits. Maybe next time. Boss, are you sure you got those settings right?
That came from down in engineering. Let's go.
So here's the commentary.
You didn't really think that was gonna work again, did you? But let's try it again.
Primordia is very unique compared to the other Wadjet games in that it had a full team. It had a dedicated writer.
I really like this room. It's the color scheme I came up with for this background basically influenced the rest of Primordia. The telescope deck, probably my favorite.
One case of executive meddling, and I'm sure I'm going to be talking about more of them, was that I asked them to cut down this introductory scene. It used to be a lot longer. Horatio and Crispin talked about human.
Okay. Crispin.
Boss, maybe we should see what...
There's no time for that. There's no time.
Okay. The hatch. The rather questionably shaped hatch. Suggestively shaped.
There's no time for... There's no time. There's no time.
Always time for Jesus.
Logan Cunningham, who plays Horatio. When we released Gemini...
There's no time.
Okay. This isn't engineering, I take it.
Boss?
Uh-oh.
Crispin, get behind me. Who are you and what do you want? Power.
I think he wants the power core, boss.
Stop right there. This ship belongs to me.
You know, you wouldn't need as much power if you didn't waste it on a laser beam.
Forfeit. Enemy. Plunder.
I don't think he's too keen on private property.
Get away from the power core.
Forfeit.
When you have an essentially cerebral main villain like Metromind, it's important to have a henchman who creates a serious physical threat. That henchman can act as a kind of embodiment of the cerebral villain and give the player something to actively fight against during the course of the game. You see this motif used a lot in James Bond movies where you'll typically have a villain like Goldfinger and then he'll have a henchman like Oddjob. It's also pretty commonly used in comic books. Here with Scraper, the idea was that you would have this character who keeps interfering with your progress, and every time you have to fight Scraper or he takes something away from you, it reminds you of the conflict that started the game and gives you a sense of continuity as you go through the
Okay. Neat. Obviously not the end of the game.
Boss? Boss? Horatio? Come on, Horatio, wake up!
Ugh.
Whew, you're okay.
What happened?
Well, Big Ugly threw you out of the ship. And then he said plunder, again. And then he left with our power core.
Assad.
Yep,
How much charge have you got?
10%. You?
I'll be fine. We just need to get the emergency generator up and running.
Or we could just go to Metropole, city of glass and light. Free energy for one and all.
Don't believe everything you hear. Metropole is trouble. But if you want to go, you've got free will in a maglev unit.
With that guilt subroutine you put in me, I wouldn't even make it halfway.
Actually, with a 10% charge, you wouldn't even get that far. So I suggest we get the generator working.
One problem with voice acting and having a lot of really dramatic, emotionally charged scenes at the very beginning is that you're not really into the character as much. You haven't really grown into it. You don't have the cadences, the energy. It's just not there. And one of my mistakes was having Logan record these sequences where he's getting attacked by Scraper and everything, recording those at the very beginning. It was like the first
Okay.
You and your projects.
Man built us to build, Crispin. Now, come on.
You know,
Oh,
boss,
shoot.
if you're ever wondering what I would do, feel free to just ask.
I'll keep that in mind.
The hint system has been a great accomplishment.
Maybe I'm just a sucker for flashing, but then.
The one area of this game where I was kind of an executive meddler, I was really the hard out.
I had done a lot of demos for
Crispin's sprite design, character design, or whatever.
Okay.
I must have dropped the data pouch when I was thrown out of the unique. Assad, its memory got wiped. Easy enough to add the good old junk pile's coordinates back in, though.
Okay. Unlock more features. Looking pretty neat so far.
Is that a gumball machine?
No, it's a robot's head.
Ah, I wanted a gumball.
I can't pick that up. I can't move this without some kind of crane, which I certainly don't have time to build. Nothing worth
Oh,
salvaging.
it's Tom Servo. Look at that. That's cool. Nice little nod to MST3K there. Emergency generator. We're leaking some oil.
Throughout the game, we use these beautiful UIs that Vic.
Yeah, I can see that.
Crispin, when I told you to find a new spark plug, did you just shove my conductive putty into the old one?
Maybe.
No wonder the generator isn't working. At least the putty is still good. The generator is missing a spark plug. There's supposed to be a power-bearing conduit between this socket and the ship, but I never got around to putting one together.
Now who's the procrastinator?
It's not going to do anything until the generator.
Okay. Grease?
I can't just scoop it up.
Yeah,
It's a segment of Gordium electrical conduit.
This looks important. This cable.
A sturdy cable.
Can you go further? Okay. Games like this, it really, the low graphics kind of help make things...
I've tried patching this a dozen different ways without success.
Help make it a little, like, you know... Don't know what I'm trying to say here.
More Gordian conduit.
Like you just click on like a batch of pixels, it almost looks like.
There's no way I can...
It's basically a way that they can make a batch of pixels, you know, it could be
There's
a
no way I
hose,
can read.
or it could be a conduit.
The hatch
it
is
could be
unresponsive.
whatever.
This is no time for... Without power for...
Bad timing with those repairs.
Alright, go back down.
It's too dark to see the ladder run.
Okay.
There's no way I can read.
Can I use some of this stuff now?
I'll need at least 5 pieces to be able to build a conduit long enough to run the generator to the unique. That's never going.
Okay, what? Inventory. Okay, here we go. A pouch, putty, 2 conduits, and key.
It's a data cable. I doubt that will...
Okay. Sure. And he can't run, but he can kind of shuffle a little bit quicker. If he was normal... Now he was double click. Yeah, a little quicker.
I can't move this without some kind of... I can't... Nothing worth salvage. Nothing worth...
I wanted a gumball.
Maybe I'll start using adventure game logic. Plating. Anything with the plating?
So this is kind of a visual Easter egg. UNNIC is actually the top half of HORUS. In other words, the unique is actually the Horus, as the player later finds out. The bottom half of the ship's name was blasted off when it crash landed.
This is a spoiler then.
It's the unique's tag. Without it, I'd have never known the ship's name.
Apparently, building a giant airship doesn't require proper spelling.
Apparently not. It's the unique. It's the unique.
Let's see here.
I can't just scoop it up.
Do I have anything that could possibly scoop the grease?
The putty's sticky enough already. All it would do is gum them up.
Do we use that? And
Not a bad idea, but I can't carry enough of a charge, and it isn't sticky enough to hold them in place. The cable's far too long. I don't want to get that.
Okay. That's the problem with when like techno stuff in games. You kind of, especially if it's like futuristic fantasy techno stuff, because you never really know how the stuff works together. You know what I mean? I guess we gotta go looking around for more of those conduit pieces, I would imagine.
There's no way I...
So, what exactly do we need?
Some conduit and a new spark plug.
Can I have Kristen go up there and get that thing?
Could you grab that lantern?
Sure thing, boss.
You know, I always wanted to be able to fly. That's why I built you with a maglev unit.
Not so that you could store tools on hard-to-reach ledges?
Well, that too.
Large lantern. Can I do something with that too?
There's no way I can reach that.
That's way too big for me to get, boss, and you... I don't...
Okay, maybe take Crispin down the thing.
Boss, maybe we should try to... I'm afraid of... Is that really the best... Is that really the...
Ah, okay.
Only a little sliver left before the moon.
Well, I'm glad we're not the only one. Strange...
Well, this is the sort of thing where I'd probably want to have a walkthrough on hand. Because, what am I missing? Oh, yeah, he's got a lantern, so he can use the lantern on the hatch. Get some light. Okay.
It couldn't hurt to bring the gospel of man with us.
Going to pray for a miracle?
We are man's miracle, Crispin. Let's hope that's enough.
So that's where you keep it.
Why were you looking for my plasma torch?
No reason.
I always used to hate puzzles like this that rely on a kind of reverse dramatic irony, where the character knows something that's obvious to him, but the player doesn't, like where he left his keys the last night, what the phone number of his girlfriend is, how he should drive to work, things like that. But here there actually is a reason for doing it, and maybe there is in other games too, which is to remind the player that he and the character are actually not the same person. Now, to some degree, you want the player to be immersed in the role, but when you...
Okay, enough of that gibbering.
I can't pick that up. I can't pick...
Okay. Can you plasma torch the sheets properly?
There's no reason to cut that, or burn it, or weld it. The controls for this hatch are unresponsive.
Okay, so torch it.
I'm trying to fix the unique, not to... Ha! Not after what happened last time I gave it to him. Good thing there's still some power in the circuit.
Boss, shouldn't you have thought of that before coming down here? We could have been stuck.
I could have just ridden you back to the deck.
Really?
No. Routing that much power to your maglev unit would cause it to explode.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. I couldn't find a working fuse to solve the problem.
I'm a floating bomb. I'm a floating bomb. Sweet.
As Anton Chekhov would say, if you have a floating bomb in Act 1, it needs to explode by Act 3.
All these spoilers. Yeah, I definitely gotta turn this off. But anyway. So, yeah, this is Primordia. I think we've got a decent idea what the game's all about. The art style is certainly pretty darn cool. So, got that going for it. Definitely seems like something that'd be interesting to play. I think I've got a few other
boss,
adventure
did
games.
you ever hear
we'd
the
like
one about the telescope and the poop deck?
No, and I don't intend to now.
So, yeah, definitely neat. Anyway, see you next time. Later.